Right, so now then, we're back in the game. So let's continue with the topic on spell cards. Spell cards are very handy dandy when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh, but polymerization is limited to the extra deck when it comes to fusion monsters. So we can't always activate it unless we have the required material. So let's talk about, I don't know, cards that can be activated without requirement, like this spiritual forest. It has no need for any requirement, but it also happens to be a continuous spell card. Now, this spell card says the first time a beast warrior, or a plant monster would be destroyed by battle, it is not. Well, and this is still going on. This is like a continuous effect with the Jinzu. Remember, he said the new monster cannot activate any spell trap cards. It's the same rule applied to this one, but it is required for you to activate it, so your opponent can negate it with something like a magic drain or something like that. So let's take this one off the field. Now, let's talk about spell cards that you can activate whenever you want, but it has a cost. Like, pay half your life points and you can special summon a Dark Magician from your field to from your deck. Is it that? His own deck, yes. He has to be within this. Let's say this here, this here is our deck. This is, we activate this card. We go and search for him, and ASMR for you audience, lovely audience out there. And well, bam, we got ourselves Dark Magician. But we lost half of our life points, so if our life points would be like at the start of the game, we lose 4,000 life points because each and every match starts you with 4,000 life points. But yeah, we no longer need to talk about this. But you also heard me talk about the subject on you can activate cards, spell cards on your opponent's turn. Here we have Book of Moon. Now, this card can work on any monster, be it on your side or your opponent's side. And by the way, I'm using only one Met. I have only room for that as of the moment. And if I imagine a normal Yu-Gi-Oh field would be 2 times this big. So let's say I set my Book of Moon and I didn't activate on my turn. I can do it, but I didn't. But let's say our opponent somehow miraculously summons Dark Magician out on the field. And we're like, oh no, whatever shall we do? Well, Dark Magician is about to attack. And we're like, we activate Book of Moon. Now, it's called a quick play spell card. A quick play is something that you can activate both on your turn and your opponent's turn. So, what does Book of Moon? Well, you target one face-up monster on the field. He's the only monster on the field, so we target this one. And we put him in a face-down defense position. So he has to be like... And what does that mean? He tried to attack us. But the thing is, we did this before his attack reached us. So you can do this essentially before your opponent destroys your monster or destroy... I don't know. Let's see here. Let's say he is about to attack our monster. He declares attack. We can activate it. He's already done declaring attack, but now it comes to damage step. You can activate this. You can activate this during whenever you want. You just have to time it right. So you can also activate this after he destroys your monster, but there's no point in this. He's already done his attack. So, yeah. Make sure not to be a dummy when it comes to abusing your cool ass cards. But I digress. We have time to talk about our fate. Now, something that works similar in ruling when it comes to setting a card is that when you set a card, you cannot activate on the turn you set it. So when your opponent's turn is activates, you are immediately allowed to activate it. So that's how Book of Moon works. If it's in your hand, you can activate it whenever you want. But when you set it, you can't activate it on the turn you activate it. And the same rule applies to traps. Here we have all sorts of traps. Normal trap, counter trap, and continuous trap. Now most traps interact with a lot of cards interact with whatever's on the field, so it's hard to be always prepared. So let's go over with a basic trap. And the basic trap is, we're going to call it Mind Crush. Now, Mind Crush works like this. This here is our opponent's hand. Let's say this here is our opponent's hand. And we activate Mind Crush. Mind Crush says, choose one name. If that card is in your opponent's hand, they discarded all cards with the same name. Was it discard or did they? Discard all copies. And so I'm gonna say Dark Magician. We get our opponent. This is how our opponent looks like, and he has to show us Dark Magician, and he goes to the graveyard. But if we were incorrect, because his effect says otherwise, you discard a random card. So if let's say I say Blue Eyes White Dragon, he has no Blue Eyes White Dragon. Now we have to put up our hand, and then we have to discard over here. And that's how Mind Crush works. But like I said, with a quick play spell card, if you set a trap card, you cannot activate it. You have to wait for your opponent's turn. And some trap cards require you to activate them when your opponent does something. Like, I don't know, I don't have a card right now on me, but there's a called, like, remember when I said on summoning effect? Well, trap cards have their own somewhat versions of that, like trap holes. Let's say your opponent summons, I don't know, Dark Magician. And we activate, let's pretend this is not Mind Crush. This is called Trap Hole. Now Trap Hole has this effect that says, when your opponent normal summons a monster with 1000 attack, destroy it on summoning. That means he tried to summon him, but he gets destroyed. That's how some of trap cards works. But we're simplifying this so you can understand it. All of this. Now let's get rid of these cards. We never have to see them again, because we're about to show you the next card, Magic Drain. Now Magic Drain is a tricky card. So let's say we have this set over here, and this is your opponent's hand over here. Now your opponent activates this card, and he loses half of his life points, because I'm going to teach you something that's wild and annoying to deal with. We activate Magic Drain. Now Magic Drain works like this. When your opponent activates a spell card, you can discard. Okay, sorry, I misread that. I'm sorry. It's hard to read these small text sometimes. But when your opponent activates a spell card like this, or this, or where is it? Or this, so this and that. They have to discard another spell card in their hand, but this is their only last card in their hand, and it happens to be a trap card. And that means we negate that effect. That means he has lost half of his life points. He has no monster on the field. It's nasty to encounter something like that. And that's what counter trap cards do. And the thing about counter traps is that unless there's a text that says your opponent cannot activate anything in response to this, nothing can counter a counter trap. So this is like, if you see a counter trap, you can only use a counter trap against it. It's like it locks you into counter trap territory. And yeah, this is how they use it. Now we have one last counter trap card, and it's, yes, I know, it works somewhat similar to other cards that we have mentioned. So we're gonna set this card over here. Now, let's say our opponent has a card monster face down over here, and we have our monster, Dark Magician, on the field, but we don't trust our opponent, so we activate, and we have already set this card. So it says here, we activate this final attack order. This apparently, all face-up monsters on the field are changed into attack position, and their positions cannot be changed. So, swap! This monster is now forced to be in attack position. Now, notice this, he has the same amount of defense as a Dark Magician attack, but now it's forced into attack position. And by the way, his name is Archfiend of Gilfer. Now, let's set, and we can always activate this just like our quick play spell card. That's the magic of trap cards. You can always activate them, except for, the counter trap scenario. And we attack him, and we win. Wow! He has 0 life points left. Woo! And that's it for basic Yu-Gi-Oh! If you like me to talk about other summoning methods, I'm game. But for now, you have to just live with this tutorial. Oh wait, no, I can't say goodbye yet. Oh, I forgot. We need life points. Did you not know that you had to have life points? Why am I talking about battles and whatnot? Oh, you thought I forgot about. You really thought I forgot about that. But yeah, here we have an app. It's not doing what I want it to do. Come on, there we go. So, life points. Remember when I said pay half your life points? Well, let's see here. Here we have 8,000 life points. What's 2 divided by 8,000? That's 4,000. So we're halfway of losing. Better hope that Dark Magician was worth it. But, yeah. One of the methods of winning Yu-Gi-Oh! Is like letting your opponent go all the way down to 0 and you win that way. Another method is getting rid of your opponent. It's like waiting until your opponent is on his last turn, so to speak. And let's say he's... Oh, sorry, this is not supposed to be here. He's on his last card. This is supposed to be in the extra deck. Oh well, he has no cards to draw left. You win. Congratulations. You're an asshole. And that's how you win. That's one of the methods of winning in Yu-Gi-Oh! You don't like it, but it is what it is. And thank you all for watching, and I hope you all enjoy this tutorial. And we'll talk more about different methods of summoning in the upcoming episodes. Sorry for those ritual summoning fans out there. I just think we gotta slow down when it comes to a summoning mechanic, you know? Have a lovely evening. Goodbye.